Hi everybody, Rachelle Jones, Grief Recovery. Today's edition of Stop Carrying the Crap. So you know what I was thinking about today is this pandemic and myths or pieces of misinformation. So a lot of the misinformation out there looks a little something like this. You know what? When something's bothering you or when you have an excess of emotions, you just need to stay really busy. You need to stay really busy. And so a lot of us believe that, don't we? We try not to feel it. That goes with the myth of don't feel bad, and then we try to get busy. But with this pandemic, with everything being closed and stilled and quieted down, the ability to be busy has been taken from us. So what I want you to hear is that that is a myth, because as soon as the busy settles down, all the feelings bubble back up. Plus you have all the new situations that are adding to your feelings, and then you've got all the old ones coming back up, because the busy only kept time moving, but it didn't prevent you from building up the emotion, and it didn't heal it. It's all still there. So in the grief recovery method, we have 6 very common myths. Don't feel bad. Replace the loss, which could be replace it with busyness. Grieve alone. You just need to have some alone time. Well, that's not exactly happening right now anyway. If you're in a place with a lot of people, you can't get alone. And if you don't have anyone at home with you, you're stuck alone. And I want you to think about, how's that really feeling? Don't feel bad. Replace the loss. Grieve alone. It just takes time. Well, how much time? I mean, for people who've lost their jobs or who are facing, how do I get food? Or is my loved one going to make it through this? Give it time? How much should I wait? That doesn't make sense, does it? Be strong? What does that even mean? What does be strong mean? That implies that we're displaying weakness if we have some sort of emotion pop up from this whole situation. And I want you to know that there is nothing weak about honoring your true emotions. Nothing. It is just part of being human. So despite all the messages you've ever heard or been told your whole life, I want you to hear me say that being honest and truthful about your emotions is not weakness. What it does say, though, is something about the person who doesn't know how to hear it, who tells you that you're weak or something's wrong with you. Be strong is not a thing, essentially. And the other one is keep busy. Keep busy is just a piece of misinformation. It doesn't work. It works short term. It does work short term. But once all the busy is stripped away, once the strength is stripped away, once time just keeps passing and the emotions keep coming, or, I was told just don't feel bad or just don't worry about it, but it keeps bubbling up. Once all that noise of all these pieces of misinformation are stripped away, you know what happens? You're stuck with your emotions, and that can be really scary. It can be overwhelming. So I want you to hear me that there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you that you're having a series of emotions go on from this pandemic, or that it's bringing up a slew of old information or old pieces of heavy, painful, emotional energy. I want you to hear that that's all completely normal and natural. Feelings do that. They build up and pile up and compress until we actually pay attention to them. And so keeping busy and trying to be strong and just moving through time, telling ourselves just don't feel it, none of that actually healed the wound. It just packed it on down and said, I'll wait until you have time to pay attention to me. So that's what's going on right now, is we have time to pay attention. And our heart doesn't forget. Hey, remember that wound you didn't pay attention to? Hey, remember that wound you didn't pay attention to? It's all there. So I want you to hear that that's all completely normal. I want you to hear that grief recovery services are still available online through a few specialists who have been trained to do so. I happen to be one of those very, very fortunate ones. I'm still here for you to help you, but mostly I want you to hear that there's nothing wrong with you. You're not damaged goods or going crazy. You're not. You're just finally getting the opportunity to hear what's going on deep inside of you, that perhaps busyness would have been just brought in a bunch of noise, so you couldn't hear that more quiet inner voice of what's going on. So the first thing to do is acknowledge, hey, I have these emotions, I have these feelings, it doesn't feel good. The second thing to do is say, I really don't know what to do with it, because all the things I thought all those myths, they're not working, right? And then we also have the intellectual comments that people say, well, just don't feel bad. Well, just don't worry about it. You just find happy. You got to focus on the good. We got to stay positive. We got to focus on the positive. And you are fighting like mad to cling to that positive, aren't you? We'd all love to stay there if we could. But what's happening is we have two sides. We have multiple, really, but we have sweet sides and we have sour sides. And we can't just pay attention to the sweet and ignore the sour. It just doesn't work that way. So acknowledge that you have feelings. Admit that you don't know what to do with it. And step 3 is to call for help. Okay. So you can go to griefrecoverymethod.org, griefrecoverymethod.com, griefrecoverymethod.com. Whew, every once in a while, I just get a little, what's happening? So griefrecoverymethod.com. You can find me at griefrecoverywithrachelle.com or Rachelle@grmspecialist.com. Hey, share this, re-like, repost, whatever you need to do to make sure people understand and hear that they're normal. These feelings are natural, and your body getting your attention in this more quiet, still, slowed down life is important, and it's valid, and it's real, and it's okay that it's heavy, and it's okay that you've got stuff from years ago. Why does that keep reeling through my mind? I want you to know that that's normal and natural too. Okay, so hey, let's cut the crap. Quit carrying the crap. One of the things. I don't exactly know what I'm even trying to say. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.